morning, my name is Billy. Welcome to my channel where I post every Monday at least. I want to thank you for joining me, and today I want to welcome you to a full face of glam. So first things first, I just signed up for BoxyCharm. It's my first ever month, and in this month's box, it is November currently, I got this fancy hydration serum, and I just want to try it out. I've used it a couple times since I got the box, which I only got the box yesterday. But basically, this is supposed to hydrate your face. Under what skin types is it good for? It just says any skin type that needs a kiss of hydration, which I thought was so adorable. This is the brand called Kypris, Kypris, and I've put that all over my face. It feels really, really hydrating once I rub it in. Like, my skin feels stickier now too, which could be good. It could be a good primer, a base for makeup, since we are doing a full entire face today. So if you guys don't know what BoxyCharm is, it's a monthly subscription box. I paid $25 for the regular BoxyCharm box, and every month I get 5 products. Again, I just had my first month. I haven't tried it out to its full extent, but every month you do get 5 products, and $25 is what you pay, but the value of the box is way above that. I think it's supposed to be at least $125 worth of products in every single box. Since I just signed up, they had a promotion going, which I think is still ongoing if you want to go to boxycharm.com and check it out, where when you sign up, you can type in a code and get a free Tarte palette as a gift. So I received this palette in the mail. This is the Tarte Clay Play full face sculpting palette. I've never had a Tarte palette before. They're super expensive. This retails for $45, but I got it for free. So I'm super duper excited to play with this and figure out what I want to do with it. It smells like chocolate. It smells like vanilla and chocolate. Every single time I open it, I just get this whiff of like luxury and yumminess, and I love it so much. Hey, Reflection Billy. A lot of these shades look really light in the pan. These are supposed to be bronzering or contouring shades. They could also be used on the eyes. But every review that I've seen says that these are actually a lot darker than they look. So we'll just see how it goes. Anyway, I got that for free. I will say that a little bit of the packaging is a little blemished. If you see these like white spots, and I understand why they were giving this out for free if you sign up, because it is a high quality product inside, but it is a little blemished on the outside. But that doesn't affect the actual use of the palette. I'm not upset. This thing feels really heavy. Like, I've never had a heavy palette like this, so this is really fancy. This did come in my first BoxyCharm box. If you include this, then the value of my box was $222, and I only paid $25. So I think that's so awesome. Really good value, and I'm so excited to try this out. These are supposed to be just face powders. You can use them on the eyes for highlighting, for setting your foundation and concealer, for bronzing, for contouring, all of it, anything, for brows, which leads me to what I'm going to be doing next. So because this is a full face glam, I am going to be doing my brows, and normally I don't do my brows, period. Not just like I don't do my brows on camera, but I don't do my brows. I just wear these brows. These are the brows I was born with, and I like them. Sometimes I just brush them up because this part does get a little bit down, but I just brush the hairs up and I'm good to go. But today, full face glam, let's make it happen. So I'm going in with an angled brush. Any flat angled brush like this will do. And because I'm so excited to try out this new Tarte palette, it's not actually new. Tarte released this a couple years ago, but I just got it brand new in the mail. I'm gonna go in with this shade called Timber because it looks to be the darkest. I'm gonna go in with my angled brush. It looks pretty powdery. A lot of kickback in the pan, but that's okay. I just dust that off, and I'm gonna start doing my brows. I'm no expert at doing brows, but when I start doing them, I basically just try to draw a line along the bottom, like this, and I kind of fill in the top parts. This palette smells so good, and it comes with a mirror, so that's what I'm gonna be looking at when I do this brow. So I trace that bottom as best as I can. My tail end of my brow gets a little wispy, so I'm going to extend it a little bit further than my actual hairs go. And then with little strokes, I'm just filling in the actual middle part of my brow. And I'm kind of doing upward strokes because I started with that line at the bottom. I'm pushing the product up as I go. And then because I want a little bit of a strong arch, I'm gonna be painting the upper line a little bit higher than my actual brow hairs to give me this arch shape. And at the front of the brow, I'm using a lot less pressure, so a much lighter touch at the front because I don't want it to be like a boxy beginning. I want it to be a little bit more faded. Okay, there's one brow. Let me do the other one. Wow, what a difference. This one's so strong and powerful and defined, and this one's like, hey, I'm here too. Well, let's fix that. This palette smells so good. It smells like I have chocolate and vanilla right in front of my face. Wow, so this is what I would look like if I did my brows every day. I kind of like it. Should I start doing brows? Oh, honey. There's something about these brows that just makes me feel more powerful. Dare I say that I like this? I usually never do my brows, not ever. I don't know, something might have to change. I'm really enjoying this arch that I put here. I like doing a little bit of a point. It might not be your thing, but for me, I just like how it frames my face. I am enjoying it. All right, that was really fun to use that for the brows. I'm gonna go into this later again when I do my actual face. But for now, let's move on to the eyes. This is the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. You twist it up a little bit, and I'm just dotting some on my lids. This is what I'm using instead of eye primer. I use concealer, and then with a brush, I'm blending this out. And I'm gonna be careful when I go near my brows because usually I don't do my brows, so I can just kind of move this concealer around wherever I want it. But I don't want to mess up my perfectly sculpted brow up here. So I'm just kind of gently and being cognizant of that brow when I move this concealer around. Now, obviously I do have eyelash extensions on, so I'm just brushing through them. Every few steps I just brush through them to make sure that they're in the right shape and I'm not bullying them and pushing around too much. Dobre, gotovi sme. Now, in November's BoxyCharm box, everybody got this palette. This is called Celestial Thunder and it's by Dominique Cosmetics. This is the mini version of the Celestial Thunder palette. So it comes with 8 shades. And since I'm doing a full face of glam, I think that I'm gonna start with this in my crease, deepen this up with the black in the crease, and then do a little bit of this and this all over the lid, and maybe add a pop of color with this. I think that'll be a nice dramatic look. I've never ever tried Dominique Cosmetics before. If you know my other videos, I mainly only use Juvia's Place, but I figured BoxyCharm would be a really nice way for me to branch out without spending a bunch of money. I only pay $25 a month and I get a bunch of makeup for it. So let's see where this takes us. This is a really fluffy brush and I am going to dip into this color called Zero Gravity. I'm loading this up on my brush. Not too much kickback in the pan, that's nice. All right, now I wanna dust off the excess and I'm gonna go into my crease with this. Now because I have hooded eyes, my crease is very, very low. Like it's right where you see the fold of the eye right down here. But I want my new crease that I'm making with this makeup look a little bit higher. So I'm just gonna be aware of that and begin. I start by swiping, and in the beginning it's gonna look a little patchy. That's okay. Just lay down the color where you want it, and then we're gonna blend it out. So this is around where I want my new crease to be. I started in the outer corner, but I'm also gonna bring it towards the center and inner part of my eye. And I still haven't gone back into the pan, but I'm just swiping and laying down this color. Now I'm gonna dip back in dust off the excess. So I started with this cooler toned ashy gray brown. If you want to take this in a warmer direction, you can use a warmer tone. You can use a bright color if you'd rather in the crease. I wanted to use this because I think it'll contrast nicely with those reds and pinks that I want to use later. Okay, now that that's outlined, I'm going to start blending it out. So the key to blending and diffusing a color is every time you go back in with more color on your brush, you want to start in this lower part. You don't want to start laying it down up here, and you want to work your way up. And the further up towards the brow I go, the less pressure I'm going to be using. So for example, I started down putting this color right here, and then as I move further up, I'm using these same little circles and little swiping blending motions, but as I go up higher, ever so lightly, and it is ever so lightly, it is going to be a gradual process. You don't want to go straight up as fast as you can. You want to build it up slowly. I'm using a lot less pressure, and I'm just being very patient and letting the color build itself up because I want it to blend. I don't want it to be harsh. I want it to diffuse up towards the brow. I like it. Harasva mi dá. And for this entire part, so far I've just been using one brush. It is a fluffy crease brush. The brand, this is by Sephora themselves. All right, let me add this same step to the other eye. I will be right back. Okay, yes. Now this is a full face of glam, so I'm not too shy. I'm not afraid to build this up and make it intense and nice, which leads me to my next point. Before I was using a fluffier brush. This is actually a double-ended brush, and the other side of it is more compact and tightly packed like this. Does that make sense? So using this side of the brush, I'm going into this darker color. It's a shimmer shade. It's kind of black with sparkles. So I think on camera it's looking a little bit more blue and lighter than it actually is. It's actually a little darker. It's pretty much a black. I'd call this a black, but a shimmering black. I'm picking that up on my brush and I'm dusting off the excess. The first place I'm gonna put this is in my outer corner. So I'm tapping it on, tapping and swiping, just whatever will make the color get delivered to that outer corner. That's where I'm putting it. I'm gonna go a little bit more into the pan, dust off the excess, and do that same thing again. That's a very nice shimmer. I don't know if it's because I have that other color next to it or if there's just purple shimmers in this, but it does look a little bit more purple and like black purple when I put it on the lid, but I don't mind. I kind of like that, in fact. Now that that's packed right there, I'm gonna go in with the fluffy brush, go back into it, dust off a lot of the excess, and start blending. So this time I'm swiping around where I put that black, shaping this kind of outer corner in a tapered like triangle shape, and then I'm also putting this into the crease. And again, because I want to be blending up towards the brow and have it lighter the further up I go, I'm using a lighter touch when I go further up near the brow. This is doing a really nice job adding sparkle over top of that nice blend that I created earlier. I want to make sure that this outer line is more smooth. I want it to be just going straight up in a nice line. So I'm using the flatter side of this brush, going into that black shimmer shade, dusting off the excess, and I'm just gonna focus on making that a nice straight line going from my upper lash line out. All right, nice. Now I'm gonna do this same black shimmer shade on the other eye, and I will return shortly. All right, now let's add some more color. This is a little bit too cool and black and gray and not colorful enough for me. So going into this palette once more, I think I'm gonna start by laying down a base of this pink shade. And I'm gonna be using this brush, the same one that I used to initially put down the black shimmer shade. So this is a more tightly packed brush where the bristles are closer together. There's still some shimmer on there, you can see it sparkle, but that doesn't bother me. So I'm loading up the brush with this pink color. It's a matte pink and it's called Lucid Dream. And that looks pretty. Let's see how it performs. Dust off the excess a little bit. I'm gonna lay this down in the inner and center part of my lid. Picked up a little bit more. That is pretty nice. When I build that up, I really like how it goes on. So I'm just focusing on packing on a lot of that color. The edges are messy, they're not pretty and clean, but that's okay. I just want that color payoff to be packed onto the lid. All right, now I'm gonna clean up the edges. I'm using the blending side of this brush. It's just a fluffy blending brush. It's nice and tapered at the end. There's no product on it because I wiped it off and cleaned it off. So I'm gonna start cleaning up the edges by just swiping back and forth on them so that they're not harsh. For this one, I think it went just too far in, so I'm just using a finger to wipe that off, and I haven't done my face makeup yet, so it does just wipe off nice and easy without messing up any foundation, because I have not done that yet, and that looks a little bit more precise and where it's supposed to be, so that's good. So again, I'm just blending over the edges. When you blend, it does make the color diffuse a little bit, so it's not quite as strong. Now, I used that pink as a base for where I want this next color to go. This next one's a shimmer shade. It is called Fireball. Using a very precise flat brush like this. So this one's very flat. The bristles aren't at all spread out. They're very tightly packed together. I am picking up that shimmer shade, which from this angle to me looks very gold. From this angle looks very red. It's a nice color reflective shimmer. So I'm picking that up on the brush and I'm going to lay that down mainly in this inner part. It's not showing up a lot. All right, there we go. So I picked up a little bit more. I'm tracing this almost cut crease-esque shape with that flat brush. That's why I wanted to use a flat brush, is because it allows me to trace more precise lines. Basically, I am tracing a half circle onto the inner part of the lid, like so. That is a really nice looking color. The shimmers are just dancing all around and making it look different colors in the light. I like how it blended with the shimmers from the black because there's a little bit of that black and purple sparkles visible. This is just really nice. This really is Celestial Thunder, you know, the name of the palette. Those are definitely the vibes I'm getting right now. Now when I get to the middle of the eye, I'm using a much lighter touch and I'm just kind of gently moving that color over a little bit, trying to create a nice fade. All right, that's what we're working with. Let's do that same thing on the other eye. I like making a cut crease shape with shimmers because I don't need to use the concealer underneath. Shimmers, when you lay them down firmly with a flat brush like this, they can usually just stay in the shape where you place them, so I don't feel the need for concealer. So metallic shades and shiny shimmery shades, that's just what I like to do if I'm making a cut crease shape. Yes, this is so much fun. I really like how that's looking. Nice. For my next trick, I'm going back in with this slightly wider brush. I need to wipe the pink off of it. I got this little color remover sponge. I don't even know what it's called. It says Miss Deer Quick Color Removal Makeup Brush Dry Clean Sponge. This just looks like a random product. You can just type into Amazon color remover sponge. It looks like this. You swipe your brush around on it and it gets all the dry like powder color off of it, and then you can just use your brush again to dip into another color without having to, you know, actually take it to the side and clean it and get it wet and then wait for it to dry, that whole jazz. But anyway, with that brush, I'm going into the black shimmer and I'm gonna lay this down along the edge of the pink, and now I'm working on the fade from pink to black shimmer. Okay, and once again, because I have eyelash extensions, every once in a while I just stop and brush them to make sure that they're doing okay, make sure that they're popping back into the shape where they need to be. So I'm doing that really quick. Now any fallout that has collected on my face, if there's little bits of black or anything like that, I'm just wiping that off. I'm not using any product or anything like that. I'm literally just using my fingers to wipe it off. And now I'm gonna do foundation. This is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. I'm using the shade Nude L3. I reviewed this and all of the Flower Beauty products that I have in my past video. If you want to go check that out, I'm going to link it up top in the little information bubble. But basically I'm just putting down a pump of this on my hand, and then I'm using a foundation brush. So this is the Flower Beauty foundation brush, and I'm going to start putting this on my face. Now, I was watching Jackie Aina. She's a very famous YouTuber. If you don't know her, look her up. And she was talking about ways to keep foundation and just makeup in general on your nose. Noses are tricky. They like to be in the way. They come into contact with the rest of the world. And a lot of times I have a really hard time getting makeup to stay on my nose just because either I'm touching it or it just comes into contact with outside forces of the world. She said the best way, in her experience, is to not put makeup directly onto the nose. So as you noticed, when I first put my foundation on, I put it on my cheeks first, and then I'm gonna bring it over to my nose. So I'm not directly first popping it onto my nose. And I'm gonna try out and see if it works. That's just a tip that I saw on Jackie Aina's channel. And I mean, I have been having trouble keeping foundation on my nose, so if it works for her, I figured why not try it out. Not forgetting my neck, bringing that color down. This foundation might not be my exact shade match. It does look a little bit, I don't know if it's too dark or too orangey, but it's not like perfect for me. Maybe it's me in the summer, but it is November right now, so I'm a little bit paler than I typically am. But it's the best foundation I have on hand right now. So I do have another foundation, but I'm waiting to use that until I can review it fully in a video because it is a pricey foundation, so I want to just give it my full attention. Now under my bangs, I'm just gonna lift those up, pop some of that foundation down here between the brow on the nose. Full face glam, baby. Full face glam it. Oh, Okay, that looks a little crazy. We're gonna have to brush that back out. Let me just get the rest of the forehead. Yeah, okay. Okay. Foundation has been slathered on. Let's do concealer. I say that, but then I keep doing my foundation for like the next 10 years. Okay, for real, let's move on to concealer. I'm gonna use this brush for concealer. To be honest, I don't know what brush is meant to be used for like under eye concealer. But let's try this one. This is by BH Cosmetics and it says a little number 4 on there, so I'm assuming it's number 4. Now I'm going in with the Juvia's Place I Am a Magic Concealer. This is a really thick one, so I'm gonna be careful and I'm not gonna put a lot on. And I'm not putting it directly on my nose because Jackie Ina said not to do that. I tend to have a lot of creasing like right under my eye. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that, so I don't know. Just letting you guys know there's probably gonna be creasing under my eye and I'm aware of it and I don't know how to fix it. So I don't know if it's that I don't know or if it's that I don't want to give it the effort. So I'm using little swipey circles just back and forth all over, not a lot of pressure because I don't want the bristles to be like imprinted on the concealer. And then whatever's left over on the brush, I'm going over my nose. So I still kind of don't see the point of face makeup and complexion products sometimes, but I will say that I am enjoying that I have a nice even base right now because I did my foundation and concealer. So there's no like weird, you know, red parts or some blotchy parts of my skin. It's all just this one even tone. I am enjoying that. I think my skin looks nice. It's glowing a healthy amount. These are both really like highlighting and glowing products that I use. I mean the foundation and the concealer, they're both really light reflective and dewy and they're not matte. So I like that my skin is looking shiny, healthy, glowy. Now for the fun part, I mean all this is really fun, don't get me wrong, but I've been super duper excited to try out this Tarte Clay Play face shaping palette. So let's do that. This palette smells so good. I'm gonna go in with this brush. I don't even know how to describe this. This is just a face brush. It's kind of tightly packed. I'm gonna use it as powder. The brand is Sephora. It doesn't have any other name on it. It's just a Sephora brush. I'm going into the color Sand, so I have to be careful not to get the color on either side of it because they are kind of close together. And then that looks like a lot. I'm gonna dust off that. Okay, that's a little better. So my goal for that color is to set my foundation and concealer a little bit, and I hope it's the right shade for that. I think it is. It makes my face smell so good. This video today is the very first time that I'm using this palette at all. So you do get my first impression, and my number 1 first impression is, dang, this smells good, okay? This smells nice. I don't even know what to tell you, dude. It smells like vanilla and chocolate. I don't know that I would pay $45 for this, which is what it retails for, because I'm just a very cheap person, but I got it for free. And I definitely like that I got it for free because this is an amazing palette. It just feels so good and it feels so luxurious. Maybe I'm just new to the high-end makeup game, but this thing feels heavy. It's made out of like metal. It's beautiful. It has a nice mirror. Look at yourself. That's what you look like. I use Sand to set most of my face. I set my under eye, a little bit of my nose and my chin. I don't think I need to set my cheeks. Now we're gonna do a little bit of a contour. I'm kind of new to the whole complexion makeup game, so don't judge me if I use the wrong brushes. But I think I'm gonna go in, with this. So this is a fluffy brush. It's tapered at the end, and what I mean by tapered is that it kind of starts big and it gets little and skinnier at the top. So I'm gonna go into Terracotta, this shade here, and people always say that it's actually a lot darker on your face than it looks in the palette, so I'm gonna trust what people are saying. Oh, moving the camera around. Okay, get my hair out of my way. Ooh. And I'm gonna put this in the lowest parts of my face. So if my cheekbones are up here, I want that to go below that. Oh, that does look darker than it did in the pan. I'm kind of bronzing, mainly contouring. So I'm swiping that around underneath my cheekbone. Contour, contour, contour. We like you, contour. I went into a little bit of desert. I'm gonna put that on top of it and just, I don't know, see what the shade is like. Oh, it's dark. Okay, that's good though, that's good. Okay, we can blend that out. Let me dust off the rest of that and blend out that. So desert, that middle shade, it actually came out a lot darker on my face. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of work blending this out. So to blend it out, I'm just going back and forth with light pressure, and I'm swiping all around the places where I want this color to go. So because I started out laying this down here, I'm moving it up this way and down this way a little bit, and also a little bit down this way. So almost like a 3 shape, like the number 3. That's kind of what I'm working with here. When I pull my cheek in, I can kind of see better where that line is meant to go. Okay, so I think it's already doing a little bit of a good job making my face look more sunken in and chiseled down here compared to this one. Or is that just what my face always looks like? I don't know, let's keep blending though. That tapping is me hitting my earring with the brush. Sorry if that bothers you. I keep forgetting I have a mirror in my hand that I can use because I'm not used to having mirrors in my palettes. Now I'm going in with a little bit of desert, which is that middle shade. Okay, yes. Now, I want to contour my nose a little bit. I think the brush I'm going to use is actually the blending brush that I started out this video with. So let's see how that goes. I'm going to dip into... okay, I got a little bit of makeup on my shirt by accident. I'm going to dip into, I think I'm going to start with terracotta. So to contour my nose, I want to put the eyeshadow, or the powder, where I want the nose to be drawn in and look smaller, like cinched back. And I want to use a very light hand. I don't want to do it too harshly or strongly because I want it to be fairly easy to blend out. Alright, I laid down those lines. I kind of like when people have that little button nose appearance, so I'm going to do a little bit of a line right here to make my nose look more like round at the bottom. So now that those lines are on there and I look really silly, let's blend it out. I want to get rid of the rest of that color on there. Oh, I can use that color remover sponge. So to use it, you just swipe the brush around and it gets rid of all the color that was on it. And now I'm going to be swiping that and blending that. Yes, I am blending. So I'm mainly swiping up and down on the sides of the nose. I'm bringing it a little bit down further this side and this side. And then for that middle part, I'm just using little circles to go back and forth. It might be too much, so I'm just using a finger to lightly go over top. Okay. Bringing it down to the nostrils a little bit like this, just to give it that cute little round little button nose look. This almost looks too red. I'm gonna go in with desert because I think it might be a little bit more cool toned. And put that over top of that same places where I put that first contour color. Now I'm gonna pick up the shade Solstice, which is very, very light. I'm using that same fluffy blending brush that I did the contour with. I'm dusting off a lot of that excess because it picked up a lot. And I'm gonna put this down the bridge of my nose because it is a highlighting shade and I wanna lighten that up. I think I'm gonna call it a day on the nose contour. I haven't done nose contours a lot. I think it looks a little weird, but let's see how it looks when I finish the rest of the face. So once I have my eyeshadow. Yeah, I think it needs a little bit more blending if I'm honest. All right, I think maybe all of it looks too dark. So I'm gonna go in with sand, same brush again, and I'm gonna tap this just gently over top of where I did the contour because I want to lighten it up a little bit. I almost feel like I did too much. The whole entire time that I have this palette here, it just smells so good. Why does it smell so good? Oh my gosh. I think I'm ready to do my lower lash line, so let's do that a little bit. I'm gonna go in back to the Celestial Thunder palette, and I'm gonna use this shade, which is what I used in my crease in the very, very beginning of my eye look. I'm using this, I call this a fluffy brush. Maybe it's not so fluffy, I don't know, but I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that and place it on my lower lash line like so. Now I want to dip into, I'm gonna use this pink matte shade called Lucid Dream. I'm gonna dust that to the center of my lower lash line. And then with a little bit more of that first color, which is called Zero Gravity, sorry I never said the shade name to begin with, I am putting that in the inner part of my lash line. Now I'm gonna go in with this very light shimmer shade. This is called Eternal Light. How cute! I'm gonna pick that up and I'm gonna pop this in my inner corner as an inner corner highlight. At this point, if you don't have lash extensions on, you could put on mascara or you could put on some false lashes, anything that makes you feel the most glam full face you. That's what you do right here, right now. For my lower lashes, I'm putting on any old mascara. This is a sample I got in an Ipsy subscription. I used to be subscribed to Ipsy. It's called Man Eater and it's by Tarte. So I'm gonna pop that on those little baby lashes down here. This is the highlight shade I'm gonna use today. I think this might be an eyeshadow. This is by City Color. It says City Chic on the front and it's this shade Skinny Latte. So this is a BH Cosmetics brush, and I'm gonna use it to go into the highlighting shade, and I'm gonna dust that on the high points of my face. Nice, okay. Last but not least, I'm putting on some Kat Von D liquid lipstick, and this is the color Lovesick. This is the first ever Kat Von D lipstick that I got. I only have 3 total, but this was my first one. This is the one that made me fall in love. Let's pop it on. Ooh, baby, yeah, yeah. There you have it. That's my take on a full face of glam makeup using some new products that I just got in my BoxyCharm subscription. I'm really happy with this look. I think it's super fancy. I usually never do contour and foundation and concealer and all that jazz, and I never do my brows. And I think the brows are honestly what's giving me most of my confidence right now. Like, something about these sculpted brows is like, bam. That's me, honey. If you can't tell, I've been feeling a lot of pink and purple vibes lately, so I really like that I could put on this lipstick in this pink shade. All in all, this is it. I want to thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you're freaking awesome. Thank you so much. I hope that you join me again next Monday because I will be uploading, and in the meantime, I hope you check out my other videos. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. My most recent ones are good. My earlier ones, like the first ones I posted, I don't know if I'd recommend them. The video quality is really, really crappy, and that's what makes them not my favorite. But the content is still there, the heart is still there. I still care about what I'm doing on YouTube, and that's that. Alright, so thank you for watching. Click on the middle icon to subscribe to me. Click on either of these videos that are popping up at the end here to watch my other content. And just thank you. I appreciate you so much. Have a good day. Take care. Mwah!